Happy Halloween guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Gran Turismo 7. So we have a brand new online time trial featuring the Dodge Viper SRT 10 Coupe from 2006 taking on Autopolis racing course. In terms of this online time trial, there's not really too much different from the norm, and I'll give you a quick overview on what you guys can expect. I'm not really going to turn around and say this is a guide because I'm certainly not one of the fastest Gran Turismo players in the world, but it is nice to dive in and check out what's on offer. So as you can see, a lap time challenge at Autopolis racing course is going to be yours to tackle with the Dodge Viper SRT 10 Coupe from 2006 on the full layout. Nothing really too different from the norm that we see with these lap time challenges, so let's head into the details. As usual, top 3% will get 2 million credits, top 5% will get 1 million, and top 10% will get 250k. The track is of course Autopolis. It will close on the 14th of November. In terms of usable tyres, it's on sports hards with wide body prohibited and nitrous and overtake prohibited as well. Of course, it's a specified car with the Dodge Viper. BOP is on, it's a mid-speed BOP. You can use a garage car or event specified car. Car settings are specified, and in terms of the shortcut and wall collision, that will invalidate your time. So let's head over and see what you guys will have to expect with this. The Dodge Viper SRT 10 Coupe is a bit of an American beast. 509 brake horsepower, 1565 kilograms with a 0 to 60 time of 4.2 seconds, a top speed of 190 miles per hour with an aspiration of a naturally aspirated V10. It does have extremely long gears and can also be pretty heavy and pretty bulky. So just touching on the long gears point, this is definitely something I experience almost instantly. Now for my personal driving style, I love to short shift cars out of corners. However, with how long the gears are for this car, that won't always be the case. So you may have to adapt your driving style accordingly to suit the car itself. So for some basic tips and tricks, one of the best things to do is of course boot up a replay from the top of the global rankings. This way you can sort of figure out what line people are taking, where they're heading to on track, and where you're gaining and losing time. You can also boot up a ghost as well, which you can of course follow around and attempt to beat, just to see once again where you're gaining and losing that time. It's very crucial if you're wanting a top time to be of course going with what the top drivers are doing. Now in terms of some other tips and tricks, you want to be turning those assists off. This car really isn't that bad overall to drive without those on, and you do want to be aware of the weight. It is quite a heavy car and it can be quite sketchy on corner exits. There's also huge power for road tyres here, of course 500 brake horsepower plus, meaning that it is going to launch fairly quite quickly. So with those tips and tricks done, let's head over to my first original fastest lap of this time trial. This will definitely be improved upon. This is just to give you a relative idea of what to expect. First up, turn 1. Look for the little orange marker at 150 meters and then get ready to turn into the first right-hander. It can be quite deceiving. If you turn in just before the orange barrier, you should be all good, but if you line it up right, you can get a major speed boost down the main straight. It's all about carrying that momentum through turn 1, and if you do, you should be golden ready for this section. Look for the orange barrier just after the 100 meters, brake nice and hard and bring it into the right-hander. Now you're going to head out towards the left-hand side of the track and start bringing it towards the right, but as you do, you want to instantly switch to the left and bring it up across this curb here. Now realistically you want to keep it in the sort of middle of the track, continue into the next left-hander and once again take that curb. I took a little bit too much here and it did make the car a little bit unstable. Very hard on the brakes for this very slow right-hander here, and you should be all good through this section of the track. Now just be aware, if you put the power down too early here and you don't straighten up the car enough, there is a chance for the rear end to kick out. Again, it did just slightly there, but we did keep it under control. The sweeping left-hander here, it's very easy. I do recommend keeping it in third gear and accelerate ready to go up the hill into the next tricky part of the track. bring it over to the right hand side and look for these markers here. Look for the 100-meter board and brake nice and hard, very, very hard, and bring it into the left hand side. Now you do want to run the curb here as much as possible and get ready to get a nice exit. You basically want to aim for the curb just up here and then put the throttle down as you straighten up. This will give you a nice run into a downhill section, but of course you will need to get ready to brake a bit earlier than normal considering we are going downhill. Now I did miss the apex there a little bit, but it didn't bother us too much. You then come into probably the most trickiest part of the track. It's very, very awkward through here. So again, you bring it into the left-hander. You want to run the curb. Again, I took a little bit too much there. It did make the car a little bit unsteady. Bring it into this right-hander, and this is where it gets very, very tricky. You want to bring it out wide and keep going towards the right. Once again, try and get as much in on this right-hander as possible and switch to the left. You can take a huge chunk of curb here. Try not to clip the grass because that will send you into a spin. Get ready for the next left-hander under the bridge. Once again, take a bunch of curb and head out nice and wide. Get ready once again to switch back to the right for the final few corners. Try and use a nice bit of throttle control and braking through here and then get a decent exit up over the left hand curb here. Take a big chunk if you need to and get ready to cross the line. As you can see, we're going to cross the line with a time of a 2-minute 1.760. Again, this will definitely be improved upon over the next couple of weeks. But there it is for a basic overview of this brand new time trial for Gran Turismo 7. I absolutely love the Dodge Viper, and once you do get used to how this car likes to be driven, it's incredibly satisfying to drive. Let me know what you think of this week's online time trial. I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Peace.